Hi, this is Ashley Victoria Robinson coming to you from this pop spot here at BookCon 2026, and I am here with the beautiful and talented Carissa Broadbent.
I expect to be introduced that way every time I go anywhere from now on.
I think you should add it to your writer.
Yeah, absolutely.
How has your BookCon been so far?
It's been fantastic. I have never done a BookCon before because I was nobody the last time there was BookCon.
You were merely germinating.
I was germinating in 2019. Yeah, sure.
What were you working on in 2019? Let's throw it back.
Oh, I was probably working on Daughter of No Worlds, which is the book that ultimately allowed me to quit my day job and become a full-time author.
And become a star of BookCon.
Yeah, knowing that I was going to be here. So I was working towards it. Last BookCon, I didn't even know.
But proving, though, that manifestation works in the long run. All right, let's get to the hard questions. The Lion The Deathless Dark is the first book of the Bloodborn Duet, and it's coming out in August. What can you tease us about it?
Am I allowed to have profanity?
Of course you are. This is the internet.
Oh, amazing. Am I allowed to cuss? This is the craziest bitch I've ever written.
Yes!
I love her. The female main character, Kyrene, she just lets her intrusive thoughts win, like every time. And that is exactly what we need for Septimus, who has been a villain the whole series, and he's finally getting his time in the spotlight. He will be challenged extensively.
I was going to say, does that mean his comeuppance is finally coming his way?
Everyone is the hero of their own story. Okay? You can read his book and you can decide how much comeuppance he actually deserves.
Ooh, I love that.
Okay.
What does duet mean to you in the context of the new book?
It means that my series structure was convoluted. It was basically me trying to have my cake and eat it too, where I knew I wanted to have this long series with a big epic fantasy arc. And like, we are in the penultimate book, so the big epic arc is coming to a conclusion soon. But I also wanted to be able to move the spotlight around the world. So that's why it's kind of like in that arc, each house gets their own couple, their own little spotlight for 2 books, but we are building across a big plot, and big things are happening.
From a structural standpoint, is it difficult to be in the denouement of the series, but trying to tell a full arc for the structure of a book?
Yes. Do I have regrets? Look at my face and you can tell me.
How many cups of coffee do you need in a day to get through something like this?
Not more than I can have because I'm 6 months pregnant. So unfortunately, I have to just raw dog it.
I love that. I'm just raw dogging life. I am raw dogging literary structure and mythology.
Just writing the conclusion of an 8-book fantasy series just without caffeine. It's great. Totally recommended.
So with Kyrene, who is much talked about on Reddit and Instagram, everyone has a lot of theories on how evil she's going to be. What for you necessitated going darker with a female character in this way?
I never like to write the same character twice. Ooh. And at this point, I've written, in this series alone, there have been, 4 spotlight couples so far, because there's 3 duologies and the 2 spinoffs. And she just came to me. She is definitely one of the easiest characters I've ever written.
Is she your dark side? Is she Mirror Universe Carissa?
She's nothing like me. She's not evil. She's just she's a bounty hunter after the end of the world. Yeah. You do what you gotta to survive.
Morally gray can go a little darker.
She's
under the
morally gray,
yeah. I love that. What are you most excited for fans to see for Septimus in this duet?
I am very eager for them to see his side of the story. I am actually... There are sometimes always things as a writer that you are surprised how readers react. I was frankly surprised by how much readers hated Septimus.
You thought he was going to be a problematic fave, and he
is some people's problematic fave.
For sure.
But I felt to me, as a writer, he was a villain throughout this whole series to all of our main characters.
Yeah, to say the least.
But everyone is a villain to everybody else in this world. It's a very cutthroat world.
Yeah.
So I was very surprised that people took it very personally, because I was man, we're all doing some bad things to other people in this world. So I'm very eager for people to kind of see his softer side and his, the journey that he has been the hero in from his perspective.
So he's a vampire. We love the vampires. What was your approach to such a classic mythology and making it your own? Because writing a vampire, writing a werewolf, writing a witch, that's like a loaded thing to take on.
It really is. And I almost am ashamed to admit this on the internet.
Say it.
Just like every good confession, how it always starts. Everyone's always surprised that most vampire lore that people, especially like people my age, millennials, kind of grew up with.
At a crisp 21 years old.
That's clearly, I'm a child.
A child having a child.
Yeah, right. I never read Twilight. I never watched Vampire Diaries. And I'm not saying this in like a proud way. Like I just like missed those things. So when I was developing this series, what I had seen was Castlevania, and I was like, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life.
It's so, but you say that and I'm like, makes perfect sense.
It totally tracks, right? It tracks.
Yep.
And I was trying to think, you're right, there's so much mythology around vampires in pop culture, in mythology.
I mean, how many Draculas do we have at this point?
So many. And I was kind of like, well, what kind of vampires do I want to do? Do I want to do like bat vampires or like monster vampires or like gothy, creepy vampires? And I said, how about all of them? I'll do all of them. And then that's how the 3 houses came along, because I decided I'd like to be able to dip my toes into every kind of vampire. So I ended up with being able to make my own rules and make all the vampires.
So I like that you sort of touched on the expansion of the universe, because Crown of Nyaxia was originally, I think, announced as a 6-book series. And now you've snuck in all these other little side quests.
With all my free time. Yeah.
Is there any stories left for you to tell once you've closed this duology? Will we be moving on from this universe and onto a bigger, expansive magic cycle, or are there still corners you want to crawl into?
I developed this world with the specific. I specifically wanted to be able to expand it as much as I wanted. And that ended up kind of running away from me in some ways and expanding more than I even had anticipated that it would. But I mean, there are stories I'd like to tell. There are some like prequel stories I would like to tell. Tell me more. I would love to write a Vincent book. I would love to write, there are some prequel stories. But there's come on, guys. Like 8 books, it's too many books. It's too many books.
There's no such thing as too many.
Nobody wants this many books. Like when people ask me, I'm like, you guys want more? Like really? Yeah. Like what's wrong with you? Really? So I have a new world and something new that I'm working on that is quite different. Ooh. That is definitely going to be a bit of a palate cleanser and kind of stretching some muscles for me.
Okay, so. BookCon 2027, I'm manifesting it now. We're coming back and we're talking about the new world and the new series because something has been announced.
Oh, I bet we very well may be.
People often ask on the internet if Carissa Broadbent books are spicy. You're very well read. You've created this world. Do you consider your books spicy?
I don't know how to answer this question because I wrote The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and at that time, there was the first draft of that sex scene. There was one sex scene, proper sex scene, in The Serpent and the Wings of Night, but it is like 6,000 words long, okay? It is long. I describe all kinds of anatomy in detail, folds of skin, colors, everything. I was like, oh my God, this is almost too much, right? Like this is the spiciest thing I've ever written. And then I put it out there, and there's so many people who are like, oh, I loved this book, but it's a shame it's not very spicy. Like, oh, half a pepper. And I was like, guys, come on. Like,
you're like, I gave you an entire novella's worth.
I gave you, that is insane to me. So I feel like I don't even know how to modulate my own.
How many peppers would you give it? Out of a potential 5.
Out of a 5? Mm-hmm. I don't know, 3?
Yeah, I was going to 3.
I think they're a solid 3.
Solidly spicy.
There's a lot of plot happening. Sometimes it's hard for people to find time to like stop and get it on. I try to make it happen.
More quickies.
I had a pet in my last duology. Yep. There was a dog. And I kept being like, oh, I've got to like find a way to like mention that the dog excuses herself because like you don't want to imagine that she's just like sitting there.
It's too close to real life.
Yeah, right. I know. Like for me, it would squick me out if this undead dog was like watching me both. So.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going? That's a new novella.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
When you've truly run out of ideas.
And there's another audience for that one.
There is truly for everything.
I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not here to yuck anyone's yum. But for me, the dog, I would prefer that they were not in the room. But But yeah, I try to make it happen. Couple of sex scenes a book, try to give you what you want, but also a ton of action happening too.
And then lastly but not leastly, because here in the Popverse, we celebrate the best in TV, movies, comics, and books. What are you geeking out about right now that you're not working on? So just what are you enjoying for fun?
Oh, fun.
What is in your infinite free time?
With all the free time that I have. Let's see, what am I loving? I just watched the finale of The Pit.
Oh my God, so good.
It was very good.
Brutal.
It had me wondering, like, what would romantic medical drama look like, right?
You've got a whole nother world to create for us
There's
now.
something there, right?
For sure.
It's too much research for me. I couldn't do it.
It'd be too gross, probably, with all the various
Too gross for me? We've got, like, blood rivers. We've got, like, all kinds of...
But the Pit is like... We all saw the episode with the fake piece of male anatomy, right?
Yeah,
right? Like...
I know.
Thank you so much for joining us here in the Popverse today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.